Hello, friends. Today we will take a detailed look at Ethereum, one of the most talked about topics in the market. Let's clearly discuss what's happening with the price and what the recent developments mean. Because right now, Ethereum is truly going through a critical period. Now, look, the current price of Ethereum is around $2,326, friends. This level is actually a very important zone because both technically and psychologically we can call it a real breaking point. In fact, in recent days, we've seen Ethereum test the $2,400 level and then pull back again to the 2,327 region. So it wanted to go up, but for now, it faced selling pressure. Now, here's what we need to understand Ethereum is currently completely stuck within a range. In other words, while the 2100 to 2200 band acts as support below, the 2400 band stands as a significant resistance above, and the price is currently fluctuating between these two zones. What does this mean? This means that the market hasn't made up its mind yet, neither has an uptrend fully started, nor has a downtrend become clear. But here's the important part Ethereum didn't reach these levels for no reason, because there are significant developments happening in the background. For example, the Ethereum network has started to become active again, there's increasing activity on the DeFi side, Layer 2 solutions are growing significantly, and this shows that Ethereum is still one of the strongest infrastructures in crypto. Now let's return to the price part again. Why is the 2327 level so important? Because technically this area acts as support in the short term. In fact, in some analyses, it's clearly seen that Ethereum is trying to hold around 2300 and is attempting to break the 2400 resistance. If Ethereum gains strength here and moves above 2400, that's when things change. Because at that point, FOMO kicks in and the market starts to move upward more aggressively. And when we look at this news, we also need to discuss the other scenario. If Ethereum remains permanently below 2300, then the possibility of a pullback down to 2100 or even 2000 is also on the table. Because right now, in the short term, momentum has weakened a bit, and the news coming from the macro side is also affecting the market, lowering expectations, and can create pressure on Ethereum. As you can see, this news has already discussed this in detail. Now let's take a look at the general market and news side. Institutional interest in Ethereum continues to increase. Especially on the ETF side, there are significant inflows. This is a positive signal for Ethereum in the long term because big money is gradually entering the market. But in the short term, there is still uncertainty because macroeconomics, that is, interest rates, inflation, and global developments, directly affect crypto. As you can see here, the headlines in these news articles are already detailed, and we can see that significant attention has been given to them in a much more thorough way. There are things showing that DeFi will make a comeback, or rather that DeFi is a solid infrastructure. To sum up in general, Ethereum is currently at the 2327 level, right at a decision point. If it breaks upward, a significant rise could occur, but if it dips downward, seeing a short-term correction is also quite normal. So we are exactly at one of the most critical points in the market. That's why the most important thing to do here is not to act emotionally, to watch the market and to act according to the levels. Friends, remember what I explain in this video is absolutely not investment advice. These are only my own opinions and comments I make based on the data in the market. If you enjoy these kinds of up-to-date analysis and news videos, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Because content like this will continue. Take care of yourselves.